Hello students. Okay, welcome back again. We are learning our lesson that is friction. We are learning our lesson friction, and as we know that the force which oppose the motion, that force is called as a friction. So let's we start again our lesson friction, and here you can see that is a spring balance. So today we are learning about a new device. You can see that device. It is a spring balance. And from that spring balance, it is used for measure a weight. Okay. So here we can learn about the spring balance. It looks like the same. This is you can see in this picture. Spring balance is a device used for measuring the force acting on an object. So we can use this device to measure a force acting on an object. It consists of a coil spring. So you can see here inside this there is a spring. If you closely look at here, you can see here there is a spring inside, and from that spring we can hang a weight or a load here. So it goes down, and you can see here the weight of that this log that I hang here. That log is about 225 grams. You can see here the readings. It is about 225 grams. Okay, so it has a coil. Stretching of spring is measured by pointer moving on a graduated scale. The reading on the scale gives the magnitude of force. So that reading is given a force, that is the magnitude of force. That means how much force acted on that object, or this object having how much force. So gravitational force is on that object. You can see here that is the weight of that object. It is a 225 grams. Okay, you may see here, and this pointer, this middle pointer is pointed the proper force acting on that object. Okay, you can see over here. Again, if I hang this little key to this spring balance, so it also shows a little force. You can see here the pointer, you can see over here, and that pointer shows the gram. That means 10 grams. You can see here it is a 10 gram because every marking shows a 5 grams. Okay, you can see that. Okay, so it is a spring balance. Whenever you come at a school, so I will show it to you, every student. Okay, now we can move ahead. We are going to move ahead, and so it is a spring balance, and from that spring balance we can measure a weight, or you can say that a force. So let's move ahead. Next. So let's learn now types of friction. Okay, so frictions are mostly three types. There are three types of friction. First one is the static friction, second one is the sliding friction, and third one is the rolling friction. They are static friction. So first one is the static friction. Now static friction means what? The friction exerted on an object at a rest. Whenever anything object is at a rest position, and whenever we apply a force on it, and that times the friction is happen, that friction is called as a static friction. For example, if this object is over here, that object is over here, and if I want to push this object, then when I started to push that object, and that force is called as a static friction. Okay, so this force is called as a static friction. Second friction, and you can see over here in this picture, this man is apply a force on this box. Okay, so that kind of a friction, whenever that man apply first time force, okay, and that object is starting to move, and at that point the friction is happen is called as a static friction. Okay, second type of friction is a sliding friction. Sliding friction is the friction exerted when an object slides over a surface. Now you can see over here a boy is sliding on that slide. Okay, and at that time whenever object is moving continuously, whenever you apply a force and that object is moving continuously, at that time we can say that this force is this friction is the sliding friction, and rolling friction is the very easy friction. So rolling friction is the friction exerted when an object rolls over a surface. You can see here there is a one tin can and it is rolling on that surface. So that type of friction, or you can say that the friction of a wheel. Whenever any object is rolling, at that time the friction is called as a rolling friction. Okay, but which friction is more and which friction is less? So we can say that static friction is the most friction. It is a more friction, but sliding friction is slightly less than static friction. Static friction is greater than sliding friction is less than static friction, and then rolling friction is less than sliding friction and static friction. That means we can say that more friction is for static friction, then less friction to the sliding friction, and too much less friction for the rolling friction. So to reduce friction of any object, most of the time we use a wheel. Whenever we apply a wheel to a table or for any object, then friction is less. Okay, so rolling friction is too much less than sliding friction and also static friction. So now we can see next topic, that is friction is sometimes useful. Now we learn about what is friction and also we learn about the types of friction. But now we are going to learn that friction is sometimes useful. Then how friction is sometimes useful? Let us learn that. Friction is useful for many our daily activities. As I told you, we can wear a clothes because of the friction. We can walk on the road because of a friction. Okay, it is possible to hold a tumbler due to the friction between the hand and the tumbler. We can hold any object because of the friction. We can hold any. Whenever we apply oil on our hand and whenever we want to catch some object, we can't hold it. Why this happen? Because there is a less friction of our hand and object. Okay, but we can hold any object because I can hold this object. Why? Because there is a friction between my hand and that object. So it is called as it is the use of that friction. Now second, friction between the feet and the ground help us to walk on the ground. I can walk on the ground because of that friction. It is possible to write with a pen or a pencil on a paper due to a friction between the pen or a pencil and the paper. I can write because there is friction between pen or pencil and the paper. It is possible to write on a blackboard due to the friction between chalk and the blackboard. In a maths period, whenever I write examples on the boards, so it is example. It is usefulness of a friction. Why I can write there? Because there is a friction between a chalk and the board. Friction between the tires and the road helps automobiles to move on the road. You can see that a vehicle is moving on the road. Why it is happen? Because it is because of the friction of the tire and the road. Again, we can say that friction between the bricks helps in the construction of a building. Any building can stand up. Why? Because of a friction. Because two bricks holding together because of the friction force. Okay, so friction is most of the time it is the useful thing. But sometimes you can see over here are some examples. We can ride because of the friction, we can walk because of the friction, vehicles can move because of the friction, and buildings can stand up or buildings can build up because of the friction. Okay, but still friction is useful. There are some undesirable friction is also there. We can see next topic. Friction is sometimes undesirable. That means friction sometimes is not useful. How it is not useful? Soles of shoes wear out due to the friction. Whenever we walk more and more, and whenever our vehicles also move lots of time on the road, and that time because of that more friction and more friction, the soles of shoes wear out. It is a wear out. You can see in this picture the soles of shoes going to wear out. Now tires of bicycle and automobiles wear out due to the friction. That tires are going to wear out because of the friction. Okay, again you can say that steps of a staircase and the foot over bridges in railway station wear out due to the friction. You can see that whenever we walk more and more and more, then that steps also going to wear out due to the friction. Also, knives and razors lose their sharpness or sharp edges due to the friction. Whenever we use more and more times anything, then because of that friction, it going to be wear out. So that is a undesirable. That means we can say over here friction is sometimes undesirable. Now let's learn the next topic, increasing friction. If you want to increase the friction, then what to do? Okay, here are some examples. Friction can be increased by increasing roughness of the surface in a contact. If you want to increase a friction force, then what we can do? We can increase a roughness of any surface and we can then increase a friction. Okay, for example, the soles of our shoes are grooved to have a better grip on the floor. If our shoes it have a better grip, why? If they are grooved to have a better grip. Now second example is the tire of vehicle are treated to increase the grip on the road. You can see that on our bicycle tire, on our vehicle's tire, there are some designs on that tire. That kind of designs are. Why that designs are there? Why they are not smooth and plain? Because whenever you draw a specific kinds of design, then the tires and the tires having the friction to the road, between the road and the tires. So for that there are beautiful designs on the tires because of the to increase a friction force. Again, the brake pads of vehicles are rubbed to stop moving vehicles when the brakes are applied. If you can see a brake of a bicycle, then you can see that it is a rub or it's a rubber. Okay, it's a rubber shape. So why it is rub? Because to stop a vehicle. Why? Because to increase the friction. Okay, now last example, gymnasts apply some coarse substance on their hands for a better grip. Okay, you can see that here is one gymnast and they apply some powder on their hands. Why? To make the roughness of our hand. Or some climbers that climb on that climbing on the, you can say that climbing on some wall and on some mountains. So they also use some powders, okay, to increase their roughness of their hand. So to increase the friction, we can say from this topic, to increase the friction, we have to increase a roughness of the surface. So here to increase the friction, what we have to do, we know. But now if you want to decrease the friction or if you want to less that friction, then what we can do? So see in the next slide. Okay, reducing friction. Now we have to reduce that friction. Okay, friction can be reduced by first thing using lubricants like powders or oils or grease. Now sometimes you can see that whenever our door is giving a ghost noise or ghost voice, that okay, at that time what our family member says that we have to apply some oil. Okay, we have to apply some oil on that hinges, so the voice now become reduced. So at that time we use oil or grease. So to reduce the friction, we use oil, grease or powders. Using rollers or wheels, we can reduce the friction using rollers or wheels. Third, using ball bearings. So that three things used to reduce a friction. Here are some examples. So we sprinkle powder on a carom board to reduce the friction. I think so most of the students plays a carom, and whenever you play a carom, so you use that carom board powder on it. Why we use that powder? Because of that powder, our that what we can say that it goes move ahead. Okay, Now second example is oil or grease is applied between moving parts of machine to reduce the friction. Most of the time whenever you visit a garage, at that time the most of the moving parts of the machine is applied, or a garage, most of the or bicycle part or automobiles industry, most of the time they use a grease or oil to reduce a friction. Now rollers are used in a luggage or a bags to reduce the friction. Most of the time you use that luggage bag, and that bag having a wheels at the base, okay, and that wheels are you can see over a bag here. Because of that wheels, it has reduced a friction. Now next, wheels are used in vehicles to reduce the friction. That wheels used in a vehicle, why? To reduce the friction. Again, ball bearings are used in ceiling fans, bicycles and vehicles to reduce the friction. So this is called as a ball bearing. That small ball bearings used in a vehicles, in a wheels. Why that used? Because of that it reduces the friction between that two parts, okay, and it moves smoothly, and our wheel can move or roll smoothly, and for that ball bearings are also used. But here important topic is that for reducing friction we use that three things, that is sometimes we use the lubricants like powder, oil or grease that are called as the lubricants. Second, we can use the rollers, or you may say that wheels, and third is you can use a ball bearings to reduce a friction. So here we learn about, so in this topic what we learn today, yes, just revise our topics. First we learn about the spring balance, okay, then we learn about the types of a friction, that is a static friction, sliding friction and a rolling friction. And yes, you know that static rolling friction is a less, and then greater is the sliding friction, and then most greater is the our static friction. Then we learn about the method to increase the friction, okay. Also we learn about how friction is useful to us and how friction is undesirable. Also we learn about how to increase a friction, and in this topic we learn about how to reduce a friction. So students, that all slide you must have to write properly in your notebooks, okay. Also read your chapter number 12, that is the friction. The next part, that fluid friction, we will learn afterward. Thank you so much.